Are virtual events dead? Do people still show up on Zoom on a virtual event anymore? Or are live events the way to go? Today, in this session, I'm going to be taking you behind the scenes to a coaching call that I recently did to walk you through the different elements on what it takes to run a successful event, whether it's virtual, whether it's live. And by the end of this video, you're going to be able to see what are the different distinctions are in order to run one of the most lucrative, profitable, as well as fulfilling events that you might put on. Let's begin. Let's begin with the first person we have. First person we have is, it's Noah St. John. Noah, it's been a while since I think you last submitted for Hot Seat. Noah, welcome. What do you feel you would like to be able to get out of this session that will help you either scale or get unstuck?
I have a 3-day virtual event that I'm hosting 4 times a year, once per quarter. I just had my event 2 weekends ago, and we did the application process. We had 86 tickets sold. We had a 48% show up rate. So I was frankly, I thought we would have some pretty good sales, but unfortunately we only got 2 sales of my $10,000 offer, which I was frankly very surprised, disappointed, shocked. I was expecting, 5 to 8 based on historical data. So, and what's weird is that I thought I improved the offer and improved my pitch. So what actually happened was I did get quite a few people who applied, but they didn't have any money. It was just a bunch of no money, no money, no money. And I'm like, well, if you did, I'm not going to say, hey, mortgage your house and get my coaching. I don't do that. So anyway, it was surprising and not in a good way.
Do you feel that you would like to work on the offer and the pitch to the application, or would you like to work on when somebody has already applied and what the conversation is to see if they're a good fit so that they eventually convert to a $10,000 sale? Or is it on the show up rate?
What I really want is I want more registrants. I want more people coming, getting their ticket.
So here's the current landscape right now. Okay, so based on your numbers, let me just go through a few of these numbers with you, and then I'll walk you through my thoughts. Okay, so the fact that you have a $55 ticket with a $199 upgrade, okay, and you sold 83 of them, and 48% showed up. Here's what's happening, okay? And I believe this has got nothing to do with your offer or your follow-up process. To have a $55, okay, if you think about this like from a numbers and logic perspective, right? You have people paying $55, so they have skin in the game, right? It's paid $55. It's not, not exactly a small amount, right? It's $55. But even then, only 48% of people showed up. So a 48% show up for a $55 offer is low. And
I agree.
I do not believe that it's because of your offer. I believe that it is because across the board, virtual events people are just getting jaded by it. And the example that I give would be an example like this call right now. You take a look at this call, okay? For those of you, the OGs here, right? If you have been here for more than 2 years, okay, like you, right, Noah?
That's right.
You will know that, at the start, when the world went on lockdown, first of all, these calls, we did it once every 2 weeks.
Yep.
And when the world went on lockdown, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to increase the frequency to this every single week. And initially, I was a little bit nervous. It's like, man, I'm going to do this thing, and I'm like, are people going to show up? Are people going to take it for granted? It's too often. And then the first thing that happened was like, oh wow, people are still coming and registering just as often. And the show up rate then was over 80%. Now, if you think about today, here's the sad thing, okay? When things have started to open up, the show up rate today for these calls is under 20%. If you to take this, divided by like the size of this community.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now, if you think about it, like, has have my sessions become more boring? Is it less engaging now? Am I doing less? I don't know, right? But I would say, it's probably it's not the quality of the coaching that's changed, okay, or so I like to believe, right? But rather the fact that, well, now in today's landscape, things are different, right? People can now go out again. There's a lot more other exciting things to do, and therefore, for that reason, I know that live events and chances are, one of the things that I'm toying with is I want to be able to organize an event where all of us get to meet in person and really focus on working on the business in some remote, exotic location for 5 days with no distraction. And I feel that by doing that, number one, it's probably a lot more exciting to many of you. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the show up rate for that event is probably going to be great as well, right? And it's going to be a lot more interesting than, oh, let's do more virtual events and meetups. The show up rate has got nothing to do with, of course, there's some correlation, okay? But in terms of the show up rate, I wouldn't be too hard on your follow-up process, because I'm guessing you've already put like the necessities in place for a good, decent follow-up. So what does this mean? Okay, it means that logically, okay, because you have a paid $55 offer and the show up rate is 48%, I know, okay, that by having a $50 offer as opposed to free, the cost to acquire a customer for somebody that's free versus somebody that's $50 is not 5 times more. It's typically more than 10 times to acquire a $50 customer than a free registrant. Okay, so if you think about the magnitude, what this means mathematically, okay, it means that if you were to acquire a customer at $50 for an event, I know that at scale, it would not be surprising to acquire a buyer at $500 for a $50 product or event, right? In today's climate at scale, right? With the iOS 14, right? So now, of course, this doesn't include the order bumps, the upsells, and then the backend, okay?
Right.
And it wouldn't be surprising that it costs $500 to acquire a $50 customer upfront.
I don't disagree with your math there.
So if it is $500, at scale to acquire a customer, here's the problem now, right? It's like, then I think about it as, well, if it's free, how much would it cost? And I know that even though the free would have a significantly lower show up rate, so 5 times, less probably, right? Let's say it's 10%, okay? Which again is not unusual, right, for a free event. But this also tells me that I get a bigger pool of audience. I'm able to trigger the Facebook pixel a whole lot easier because it's a shallower conversion. And for that reason, that is why ads at scale, that model is superior over the paid $55 one. So if it comes to like fueling this event in today's climate, I would utilize that free version rather than paid. In summary, reason being, Facebook pixel triggers a whole lot easier due to the whole iOS 14 thing. Okay, so I want to help the pixel convert and mature a whole lot quicker. Number two, because show up rates are low, even though somebody paid $50 and it's less than 50%, that tells me I might as well have a free event and get a much bigger audience at a much cheaper price. That makes sense so far?
Yes, it does so far. I'm tracking with you.
Okay. And then the next one is this. Okay. So with 40 people attended and 2 people bought, what's the metric in between? Out of 40 attended, how many people, what was this, an application closed when you got people?
Yes. So I believe it was 8 that applied.
So typically when it comes to something that is on mindset and attitude and personal development, mindset and personal development can potentially be the hardest thing to sell if you do not include a few things that grounds the audience, that allows them to see this tangible outcome. Okay. So The issue with getting unstuck is for different people, it means different things. And for that reason, it's hard for your audience to put a quantifiable value to it unless you help them do that thing through an exercise. For example, okay, if the goal is helping you get unstuck, if you think about it, whatever goals we all have, right? Everybody here in this room, we are all stuck at something. We're either stuck with this scary thing that we want to do when it comes to starting a business, but we don't dare take that leap of faith. We're either stuck with wanting to have this uncomfortable conversation with a significant other, right? We're too afraid to do it, so we're stuck over there, and every day we just sweep that conversation under the carpet, right? We're stuck when it comes to our fitness goal, right? Where we know we need to change our lifestyle, our food, our routine, but we just continue eating the same crap every single day, right? Whatever it is, we're all stuck with something. Now, the problem with mindset is this, okay? All of us, in one way, shape, or form, we are selling something to do with mindset, right? If you think about it, right? If you are a trader, what are you doing? You're helping your audience change their mindset about that thing, right? You could be helping, music artists, right? You got to change their mindset about how they think about marketing and ads, right? Because to them, it's like, all I want to do is just make great music, right? You got to change their mindset. Same thing with, everybody else over here, right? In one way, shape, or form, we got to be able to change our audience mindset about something. But the problem is audiences in general never think that they need this training on mindset. So the reason for that is because it's very tough to put this quantifiable value to mindset and beliefs and attitude and personal development. So our goal as marketers, and this applies for each and every one of you, okay, is to think about, well, how do I ground my audience and link it to this thing that is tangible? And the best way to do that is by either, if this is a sales video, painting a picture and then asking them the question, or if you have more time, like Noah, through an event, to do it through an exercise. So let me give you an example. Okay, you see, when it comes to getting unstuck, it's very hard. It's very hard for a person to picture, well, I'm going to help you get unstuck, right? And when you come from, like, whether it's finances, whether it's family, whether it's your business goal, whether it's your health, right? I'll help you move forward and get to the next level. To your audience, it's still hard to pinpoint what does that mean, right? And the truth is this: if we truly can communicate what it means to get unstuck with the thing that we're stuck in, $500 is an absolute no-brainer for anybody, whether it's health, wealth, relationships, right? But now, remember, right? What makes a great offer? Everything's connected. The way you teach it, the way you build up the value, the way you get your audience to see how much it's worth. That's a close. Well, I hope you enjoyed the behind the scenes to this coaching call. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments below what your biggest takeaway is. And as always, be sure to smash the like button. It does help the channel out a little bit. And to subscribe to this channel if you want to be notified of future videos just like this one. Now, some of you asking me, how can I be part of this process? How can I ask you questions? How can I have you coach me or mentor me? We want to make sure that we are working with the people that's the right fit. You'll need to fill up a form. There's a link right below this video. Somebody on my team might give you a call to interview you to see if they're right fit for each other. And if you want to apply and see if you're a good fit, then all you need to do is click on this link in the description box below and my team will be in touch with you.